want to talk to you about your dance music career too. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you are the first superstar DJ. You went from singer-songwriter back in the days to DJ. I think you were one of the first.
Well, you know, it started with me getting into kind of acid house, and I started to make my own dance records. I did an album called The Martyr Mantras with I had a band called Jesus Loves You. That was the kind of beginning of it for me. It started from a musical kind of point of view rather than sort of just being a DJ, although I did DJ in 1978, so you know I did it before I did Culture Club, but it was very different then obviously, and I've always loved music, and anything that allows me to kind of be in the music, in the mix is exciting. And you know, my DJ career, I've been DJing for about 17 years.
Yeah.
And you know, it's been another career for me. You know, I've been very lucky. It's been amazing. It's taken me, you know, all over the world and still does. So it's nice to be able to do more than one thing, you know, and to do more than one thing successfully. It's nice. When I started DJing in the kind of late 80s, early 90s, music really changed during that period. You know, you had all the boy bands, the kind of manufactured groups, and I didn't feel like I had a place, you know, in the kind of, you know, current pop scene. And I was going to kind of acid house clubs, and it was really exciting, and it was a whole explosion. And you know, I suppose being a Gemini, I always want to be where it's most exciting.
Yeah.
And so dance music at that point was more exciting. It was like something new and something exciting to get involved in. So that's really why I kind of gravitated towards that. And I had a dance label called More Protein with Virgin Records. I put a lot of dance records out. A lot of the records I put out, people don't even know I did them. You know, they're you know, people just don't know, you know. And I've just started a new label with Mark, and hopefully, you know, we'll have learned from past experiences, you know. I mean, obviously, because, you know, running a label is not an easy thing to do. But I think if you're passionate about the music, you know, you'll always kind of do okay.
VG Records is like really fresh. It's really a new thing. And what is the cooperation between you guys? Is it? I mean, are you really I know Mark is producing, and you're coming up with kind of melodies, and you write the songs over it.
You know, I mean, obviously Mark produces the music, but I also get involved in that. You know, I will tell him, no, that doesn't work, or we need to do this, we need to do that. But I think myself and Mark, we have very similar kind of outlook on things anyway. We're both quite sort of excitable. We're both quite passionate. We fall out all the time about things. But I mean, we have the same kind of ambition in terms of what we want to create, you know. And I think it's really exciting, you know. Plus, you know, what the label allows me to do is to work with, I know many great singers, you know, Charlene, Lizzie. I mean, you know, I have a phone book full of some of the best voices that you could ever hear. So, you know, VG Records is going to give me a chance to kind of work with some of those people, also to kind of find some new people, you know, some young singers, you know. So yeah, it's just it's another kind of avenue for me to kind of express myself creatively, because really I'm about ideas, you know. I'm always on to the next thing, and that's what stimulates me, you know, putting the whole thing together, you know, the kind of getting a track from Mark, and then sort of writing something, giving it back to him, you know, talking about it. It's a really exciting process.
It's really co-creating, actually, yeah.
It is, yeah, and we work with other people as well. There's other people that Mark works with in the studio. So yeah, it's coming, you know, working together with lots of creative people.
So, will there ever be a track on VG Records without vocals?
Possibly, yeah. There's a couple of things that Mark's done, which at the moment are instrumental. It depends, you know. It depends if it works, you know, because I mean, there's lots of great dance records that don't have vocals on, you know. And if we make one, you know, then it's possible. But as I say, being a singer, I quite like to work with vocalists. You know, I mean, most of the really biggest dance records are songs. If you think about anything from the last kind of 20 years that, you know, you remember, yeah. Ultranate, Free, you know, Robin S, Show Me Love, Christine W, feel what you want, you know.
Crystal Waters.
Exact Crystal Waters. You know, the list is endless. You know, Duke, So in Love with You.
Yeah.
You know, even things like, you know, Underworld. You know, the vocal tracks are the ones you remember. So I think putting a voice on something is interesting, and it's what I do. That's where I kind of come into my own in a way, you know, because I write songs, and I kind of love that whole process. I love it when people give me a track, and I'll play it and play it and play it and try and come up with something, you know, interesting to go over it. So it's, you know, it's a really exciting process for me.